Good evening, Gooners. Good evening, football fans, and welcome to the Big Sunday show. And what a Sunday it's been. We've got loads to talk about. And I'm just going to introduce my guests. We have the crazy Scotsman, Mark. Richard's got something to do with a pole and some Vaseline. I don't know what that's all about, but Statman Richard's joined us. And we have Max as well. How you doing, guys?
Well, I'm good.
Good. Sorry, you were getting a bit of feedback from me there. Sorry, I do apologise. I'm very, very unprofessional.
So, right. So, Mark, let's just get something out of the way. I think that the sooner we get this out of the way, the better. Oh, Daniel's joined us. 1 second. Let's get Daniel in. Oh, you've done it already. Okay, cool. We've just got to get something out of the way before we carry on. We found a picture of Mark when he was younger, so we thought we'd show you all.
Whoa!
Look, there he is. Look at that little Mark there. Look, and look, him and Richard are related apparently. I just thought I'd make you all aware of that. There's little Mark there. Look, he hasn't grown up much, have you, Mark? So
that was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Anyway, good evening, Daniel. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much.
Good, and you?
Yeah. Right. So before we start, please give us a share. Please give us a like. Please hit the notification button so you can see all the shows that are coming out for In the North Bank, and also keeps you up to date with everything. We've got a great panel tonight. As you can see, we've got Daniel, we've got Rich, we've got Mark, and we've got Max. So we'll start tonight, guys, with the women's match yesterday. Okay, Richard, I'm going to let you go first on the women's match yesterday, mate. Take it away.
Interesting match, exciting, plenty of goals, keeper howlers. Two keeper howlers, and some cracking goals. I mean, Kelly's, Marnham's, and Little's were cracking goals, and Caldente's penalty was pure, calm, and professional.
Okay, cool. Are you done? Right, just checking. Mark, what was your feelings on the women's game?
Yeah, the exact same. The goalkeeper errors. Unfortunately, and I hate to say it when we're on the eve of a Champions League Final, but we really do need to change goalkeepers. There's been enough seen over. I don't think the women would have went through so much hardship this season if they just had a top goalkeeper, and I think it's been the weakest department. The game itself, I only watched the highlights of it, so I'm not going to come on and lie. But the goals, as Richard said, were phenomenal, and yeah, we let Man United back into it, which was disappointing.
It was a lot closer than it had to be, wasn't it? It was a lot closer.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, but that's second place is guaranteed now, and Champions League's there, and I'm going to steal Richard's thunder. We'll win the Champions League. We don't have to qualify next season, which is great because some of the teams in the qualifiers that you come up against are very difficult, and the women have really. I'm not sure the amount of games in the Champions League they've had to play, but it's something like 13. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, they're the first team to go from first round of qualifying straight through to the final.
Brian, I'm sorry that you're potty training.
I thought he was a bit old for that, but
I thought he was a bit old for that as well. But that's maybe why he shits in his kitchen. I don't know. Yeah. Hopefully you go over it, Brian. Hopefully you go over it. But back to the women. The game itself was Arsenal dominated large spells of it. Chloe getting her goal set the tone. Man United came back into it, and then Arsenal were I just felt we were unreal. We were absolutely unreal. Dominated, scored brilliant goals, And and this could be Chloe Kelly's new team at the end of the season as well. So hope we showed her enough that our future lies in London rather than Manchester. But it was fantastic.
Max, give us your breakdown on the women's game, mate.
Yeah, I thought the game was relatively like even in terms of like once like both teams were going at each other, and I felt like was it El Kante or how you pronounce her name? I think she took her penalty well, and I feel like with the second goalkeeper, I think that when the second goalkeeper's in charge, I feel like I'm not as confident when obviously the first team goalkeeper is obviously in charge, and I feel like I think we kind of sort of like if this makes sense, it kind of like I think we like kind of took our foot off the gas, and then they kind of got back into it, and then we kind of like and then we kind of fought our way back into it. So I think it was a close game thing, but I think it was relatively even. But I think we could see that the Arsenal women were having their eyes on the Champions League final. So I think that's kind of where I'm at with it, to be honest.
Daniel, did you watch the game, mate?
No, it was only the Chelsea game that was on TV, so I couldn't watch the Arsenal game.
Okay, no problem. So I'll just say my bit on it. I watched it last night on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube if you want to, guys, if you want to catch it up. Van Donselaar definitely is Arsenal number one now. Zinsberger, I feel for her because she's been there for years, but Van Donselaar is definitely number one. Well, congratulations to Russo for getting the golden boot. She shares it with a player from Man City. Bunny is, I think, her surname. I don't know what her first name is. Her surname.
Khadija, Bunny Khadija or something.
Okay, they're sharing the golden boot because they both scored 12 goals. The 4 goals yesterday, great goals. And just to add something about Chloe Kelly. On commentary, the woman said that apparently she's had a bit of a falling out with the Man City boss. So, and apparently she's really loving it playing for Arsenal. So it's a slim chance, but there is a chance she will stay, which I hope she does because she's a great player. Great player.
I thought she's a free agent at the end of the season.
She's a free agent. She's a free agent, but she's more likely to stay in Manchester for her family.
I mean, I think her and Beth made a good cover for each other. Do you know what I mean? So we'll see. Fingers crossed. But Chloe Kelly, if you ever watch this show, we want you to stay. All right. Okay. And just so you know, guys, the Champions League women's with Arsenal against is it Barcelona? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Barcelona. We will be doing a watch along for that. So look out on this channel for the watch along for the women's game in the Champions League. Go on, Danny.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask: are we not concerned with Beth Mead form so far this season? I feel she's dropped form so much. Are we not concerned going to next season, like replacing her?
Yeah, you probably are looking at that, Daniel, to be honest. But I think that it's a lack of game time that she's been playing. She's not been played much at all. It's mostly the games I've seen are mostly substitute appearances. So it would be like any player coming in if you don't play for like such a long time. But Arsenal might upgrade on Beth next season.
You know, the reason why I'm saying that because if you look at the Chelsea team that just won the league right now, they have a lot of depth and a lot of good strikers, attacking players, and I don't think we have that in abundance in the Arsenal team right now. So I'm thinking of if we can get some good attacking players, because if we don't do that, Chelsea are going to walk over the league next season again.
But we've also had the problem before the game yesterday. In 2 games, we let 9 goals in.
No, I'm just saying, like in the context of.
I know what you're saying. Carry on.
Yeah, because if you look at the Arsenal men's team during the December period, before December we played well. Crystal Palace, we all say, oh, we needed a striker. But Arsenal went on 2 games, scoring over 9 goals. So we felt like everything was okay. Same thing applies to the women team. Some of the games this season which we didn't win wasn't because we didn't have chance, but I just felt we needed some clinical finishing in our attack and also game-changing players. And I think Chloe Kelly actually did that towards the second half of the season. I'm just saying, probably we can have like two or one game-changing players in the women's team also in the attacking phase.
I'm sure they will address that. I mean, I don't think that when it comes to the Arsenal women's team, that they've been willing to like go and try and sign a goalkeeper for £500,000. It doesn't sound much, but in the women's game it is. But she's only got 6 months left on her contract. We tried to sign Russo also. No, actually, the goalkeeper was different. But we tried to sign Russo for £500,000, knowing that she was going to sign in the summer regardless in January. So I don't think that like the club are taking it lightly, and they do have to push forward, Daniel. But I agree. I think that the women's team and the men's team need a bit of gold dust on top of it. And for me, Chloe Kelly is that type of player. This is the type of players I want to be seeing in both the women's and the men's. It's a game changer.
Doesn't Black Steiners play as a striker for Arsenal women?
That's Dennis.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what you've got to also throw into the factor now, guys, is the women have got Champions League now without having to go through all the beginning part. So that may draw players in as well. That may attract players to the women's team. Do you know what I mean? So Daniel, you make a great point, but I think it's on the way. You know. I think it
used to be there though, Des. We used to dominate women's football. It's not like
we dominated for a decade.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like Arsenal are like learning how to progress the game. We are used to doing that. With it was mostly Scottish players, by the way. Well, actually, a top Scottish striker back then. Des. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that
yes,
you're wrong.
Yeah, Brian, he does. Yes.
I'm not saying you're wrong. All I'm saying is I know we were dominant for a long time in the women's game, but we're not going to be waiting. I don't think we're going to be waiting with the women like we have with the men, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
no, I don't think so either. It's maybe just about gold dust.
Only time will tell. I mean, we could win the Champions League
this season would have been clear as well. If it hadn't been for Jonas making mistakes in that early part of the season.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't forget that Chelsea went the whole season unbeaten to show how well their squad is built. They have depth, and also they signed the most expensive defender. I just want us to go into next season with the aim of we are complete. Same way with the men's team. You understand? Like there's no room for error. Now we have a good coach which we can all stand behind, which we all believe can hold our own when it comes to the tactical aspect of the game. So the club shouldn't leave her short by not giving her the tools she needs to win the league next season. Because Chelsea just won it 6 times in a row, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we are the pioneers of women football when it comes to the English game, so we shouldn't let that slide. I think we should really do well to reclaim our title next season.
Yeah. To be fair, sorry, Richard, can I just say my point? Yeah. To be fair, though, the manager of the women's team now, she was interim. She came in as interim, and now she's proved herself. Yeah, so we'll just have to see how it goes next season. What were you going to say, Rich?
Yeah, I was just going to say. I mean, not only did we do the Invincible season, we did the quad and we did the sextuplet because we got the 2 other continental women's cups as well, which were the Super Cup and the.
And I'm not trying to make excuses, right? But the women's game has come on a lot since we were dominating.
Yeah,
it's evolving. The game is evolving. So
have you noticed that most of the women's game is now playing at the Emirates?
Yeah, because we can pull the crowds. We
Yeah.
play at the Emirates because we can pull the crowds. They had 40,000 there yesterday.
That's to counter your point right now. The game football has always been evolving every time, every season. Same way a lot of people will tell you that the Real Madrid Champions League in the 60s is not as the one they won the last season. So you can't downplay what we won saying because the game have evolved.
No, I'm not trying to downplay it, Daniel. I know what you're saying, but I'm not trying to downplay it. All I'm saying is that when you dominate, other teams are always trying to catch you up. Yeah,
Definitely.
and that's what's happened. They've caught us up, and now we need to evolve again. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
So we need. I'm in your court here, Daniel. I agree with you. We need players, better players, or players that can score goals and can win games, and even come off the bench and win a game.
I don't think we need that much in the women, and again, I don't think we need that much in the men either. It's just probably a better squad. And like when I started watching like women's football, Arsenal, not because I'm an Arsenal fan, we were just like the team, and we have fallen away from being that team. But the build up and the progression has went up and up and up. So I kind of hear both sides. I just think that we need this summer, and both the men and the women, it's like it's time. Just start sprinkling this gold dust that you promised us, and let's see where we go. And again, I'm not going to butcher her name, and I'm not picking on you either. You've been a great servant, but if we had a proper goalkeeper.
Van Donselaar is that goalkeeper, Mark. She's
not getting played then.
Well, she's injured.
No, she's not injured now.
Well, she wasn't on the bench today.
Was she not?
No. That's why she wasn't. Yeah.
Because that's what they said in the commentary. She's taken a knock and she's injured, and Van Donselaar will be the number one, or is the number one. And she's good. Van Donselaar is good. She is a good keeper.
Tommy Ashley is a good left back and a good centre back as well. But
well, yeah, but the thing is, what they're saying is whatever Zinsberger is lacking in, Donselaar makes up for.
Yeah. So if she's fit.
Yeah, take from it what you want, mate. But
that's what I'm taking. Yeah. I'm just putting it down to the injuries, Des. I'm not. Like,
no, I get it, bro.
I mean, I'm just putting it down to the injuries. Your best ability is your availability, and like what I've been watching the women this season, she's not been available even the slightest. So, therefore, like she's came on. I think she played one game, Richard, in the Champions League.
She played, I mean, she came back and she wasn't fully recovered from the knock, and she played this Lyon second leg, which showed a massive difference.
Well, the commentator yesterday basically in her commentary said, and I'm not quoting her word for word because I won't remember it word for word, but basically the manager of the women's Arsenal team now holds her in very high regard, and she will be number one keeper next season.
Yeah.
So
I mean Zinsberger's made too many mistakes in the last 2 seasons. She's been a great servant. She's a great keeper, but there are deficiencies that are starting to creep into the game for her, unfortunately.
Glenwyn, glad to have you in the chat, mate. If you ever want to come on the show, message me. You're welcome on here anytime. You can come on now if you want. I'll send you the link. But Donselaar, miles better than Zinsberger. If she were fit, we don't concede those goals. He's right. He's absolutely right.
Do you guys think we made a mistake by letting Midima go? Do you think we miss her this season? I'm just asking.
I actually don't think we do. I think Russo has done a great job. You can't say right. I'm not trying to trigger people here, right, okay, but this is my opinion, right? You cannot knock Russo if she's winning the Golden Boot. You can't knock it. You can't knock that.
I'm not knocking Russo. I'm just saying if we had Miedema, I think some of the games we drew and some of the games we didn't win, we would have won because Miedema is that striker which I think that could have helped us this season. That kind of striker.
Daniel, as a counter, has she done it at Man City? She hasn't.
No, she hasn't done it at Man City. Doesn't mean she's not a good player. Because
No, let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted.
At Arsenal, she knows the team in and out. You understand? She's settled at Arsenal. Going to Manchester City, you're going into a team who has Benny Shaw as their leading goal scorer, as one of the key players in the attack. So it's difficult for her to break into the first team and become that focal target for the Manchester City team. But at Arsenal, she has everybody at the service. So I just feel probably would have gotten more at least if she was there. Would have.
But it comes down to game time, Daniel. Do you not think?
Sorry.
She wasn't guaranteed game time.
Is that why she left?
Yeah. I don't know.
We just weren't. We just couldn't offer her what she required. She was a great servant for us, but we had moved on, and it's a shame. But it's going to be the same with a few other players. Our squad's a little bit unbalanced. I'm hoping they're going to balance that out a bit.
I mean, my favourite woman player, Clooney Cross, hasn't played for a while. I highly rate that girl. She's a great midfielder. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it's the same as any other player. The same as any other player in any team. You want game time. And if you're not getting the game time, then you're going to try to move on. And Miedema was brilliant serving for Arsenal.
Yeah, not taking anything away from her.
But to go to Man City and she's still not getting game time, maybe then you could look at why. Ask the reason why, Daniel. And is that down to finances?
In my opinion, if you're right in the sense that she wasn't guaranteed game time, that's the reason she left. Then I wouldn't want a player like that to be in the team because you're clearly or indirectly letting us know that you are aware that your form is dipping and you can hold on to becoming the player you were season before that. But player like Miedema shouldn't be scared about game time because if you are scoring the goals, you are doing the bits, definitely the manager is going to play you. So if that's the reason she left, then shame on shame. It's a shame.
Well, no, I think
Did she not suffer an ACL? She was one of the girls that suffered an ACL.
She had an ACL 2 seasons prior to last season.
Yeah, exactly. So that could be part of it as well, bro.
Glenwyn makes a good point here, though. Miedema wanted more, but she got less. And it's not monetary. Yeah, in my opinion, he's agreeing with you, I think, Daniel, because I think you said this before. Beth has to go. So
I'm not necessarily saying that Beth had to go. I'm just saying we could had more firepower. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not necessarily asking her to leave the club. That's not what I'm saying.
Well, can I throw you a question back, Daniel?
Okay.
You say we need more firepower, and I'm not saying you're wrong. But who's the firepower we need to bring in then?
There are a lot of players in Europe we can sign, like the way we signed Candiante. There's a lot of good players. Even in the Lyon team, I saw one of their strikers. I think she's in the last year of her contract. The black lady, the one that scored their only goal. I think she's in the last year of her contract. Arsenal could put in a bid to sign her or sign her on a free transfer. There are a lot of nice players, good players, game-changing players, ones that can take you off your seat, the one that can make something out of nothing. That's what I'm trying to say.
No,
I'm sure that I think that will happen. I think that will happen.
I just want to get your point of view on it, Daniel. That's why I asked you, mate. You know, I want you just to expand on it a little bit. That was all. Yeah. Well, again, Glenwyn makes another good point. I think Alessia Russo is an upgrade on Miedema after the injury. And Russo is good. Richard, I'm going to come to you just to sort of like as maybe a counter argument. I'm not sure, but do you agree with Daniel?
Yeah, I do, because we are short. Even though I like Blackstenius, she misses too many chances, and there are, and I probably look at the Leon team. You look at Wolfsburg, some wingers, and they're the sort of places I'd be looking at. And we're going to need to replace Kim soon, because she's getting on. 34, still going, doing really well, but eventually age is going to catch up. I know Cooney Cross is in there, but we still need an extra player of that ilk that does all the dirty work, runs, plays, and can be a driving force in the midfield.
Mark, do you want to say anything on it?
No. I agree. And
Right. Max, do you have anything else to say on the ladies' game?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Glenwyn, whenever you're ready, get in touch, bro, and I'll have you on the show. Okay. The sponsor tonight, guys, just before we go on to our next bit, is Ruth Beck Art. Okay. There's a link down in the description to tell you what to do to win a piece of artwork by Ruth Beck. It's quite simple. You have to watch this video, like it, subscribe, and I think it's at Ruth Beck in the comments. Is that right, Mark? Am I right with that?
Hashtag Ruth Beck.
Hashtag Ruth Beck in the comments, and you get put in the monthly draw to win a piece of art by Ruth Beck. They're really good. They're hand drawn. They're all Arsenal themed, and you get put in the draw to win a piece of art by Ruth Beck. So if you could, anybody in the chat wants to get into that draw, please do what I said in the comments, okay? And you will be automatically put into the draw, and it will be drawn at the end of the month. That's right, isn't it, Mark?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Right, that's the sponsorship announcement over. Excuse me. Right, we're going to move on now, guys, to PSG and the PSG game. Okay.
Yes. Sorry for taking you back. Is the draw only for the viewers? What about us?
No, you could join. You could enter if you want to.
You can join if you want to.
I'm just saying. I'm just asking.
Yeah. No, you could enter. It's open to everybody. Daniel.
We should be getting it. We should be getting it for free.
What are you on about? I'm trying to do a show here. Behave. Behave yourself, please. Come on now. You're a professional. You're better than this.
Carry on.
Right, yeah. I want to move on to the PSG game and stuff to do with PSG. So, who shall we go to first about the PSG game? Daniel, go on. Crack on, mate. Crack on.
I want Mark to go first, please. I don't want to go first. I want Mark to go first.
You want Mark to go first?
Yeah.
Mark has bottled it.
He's bottled it. You still had an opportunity right there, and I'll let Mark go first.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, we'll let Richard go first. Go on, Richard.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to go on to 12 o'clock tonight. Thanks for watching.
That's only because I'm sucking
Tuesday.
on your Parma Violets.
Tune in on Tuesday and we'll finish off this show without Richard, but enjoy Richard's monologue. That's all, folks.
No, let him go, boys. Let him go. Go on, Richard. You go
Thank
first.
you, little man. Great intro. Well, I mean, I must admit, it was quite disappointing. Gutting. Better performance than the night, but at the end of the day, we fell short, and we knew the reason is what we've known for most of the season, most of last season. We haven't got a striker, and without a forward, you're going to struggle. Eventually, it's going to tell, and it did. Thoroughly enjoyed the game. Some great moments. Donnarumma, what a keeper.
Well, he kept him in the game, really, because we could have been 3-0 up in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah,
so
especially the Martin Odegaard shot as well in the first half.
Yeah. Did you have any more you want to say, Rich?
No, that's it.
That's it, right. Before we move on to Mark, The Cronkey's secret agent is in.
Why are you pulling up his chats?
Because I'm allowed to.
Why are you pulling up his chats?
Why not?
This
No,
guy
because-
speaks absolute
Why-
shit. He shits in his kitchen.
Oh,
Nobody cares
leave him
about Americans.
Leave him alone, man. Leave him alone.
Nobody cares about Americans, and you're still dropping it. Shit in the chat.
Brian,
it's
come at
coming
him,
up.
mate. Come at him, mate. I'll put him up on screen. Come at him. Right, Mark. PSG game. Go for it.
I'm waiting to sneeze first.
We'll do that first, will you?
Man,
Come on, Daniel's waiting. He's chomping at the bit, mate. Come on.
it's better than an orgasm.
Oh,
fucking
really?
hell.
Really? Really?
Yeah,
We're
no,
in a
like,
show.
held it. Like,
That's what she
PSG, 18 months ago, but thanks for reminding me. Yeah, like, guys, get back to Arsenal and to get away from these two old kids. PSG, I think, like, they're conical. See what I mean? You just do everything. PSG have got conical players on the park, and they were conical. Arsenal absolutely done enough. I should have scored, and I agree with Mikel Arteta. Or the like, I think Donnarumma, I can't even say his name, is one of the best goalkeepers, if not the best in the world.
Donnarumma. There you go. I said
Yeah.
it.
He more than showed that. He more than showed that. So that was the difference for me. That was a massive freaking difference for me. I can't. The play, I thought we were phenomenal over the two legs. I'm not going to disagree with Mikel Arteta on like some person from America that doesn't know what football and soccer is. I'm not going to go into that. I think that over the two legs, the point that Richard brought up, which is so key, is so obvious for everybody to see, is we need a conical striker. We need that goal dust on our attack. Everything else, Arteta's tactics were absolutely bang on. The overloads were bang on. We dominated in Paris. And, yep, they were, I love you too, bro, but you're still a yank. And I would bomb you. So, I wouldn't bomb Yanks, by the way. Please don't unsubscribe from the channel. It's just Bryce trying to wind me up. So I do think that overall I felt we were absolutely fantastic. There we go in the first leg. Obviously had an impact in the second leg. Arsenal taking our chances in the second leg. Them getting the first goal made another major thing. On a better day, Saka could have got us in there with 5-10 minutes left with that chance that he missed. It came on very quickly. It's just disappointing, and we need like the help now. You can see it. We need the help up top. So, yeah, that was my kind of take from PSG.
Daniel, the floor is yours.
I expected more from Mark, but I'm so disappointed with your.
Oh, Mark's
Your
got
take
stuff
on
to
the
come
game.
at you with later on.
So-
Don't worry about that.
I'm so disappointed with Mark. Oh, where do
Well,
I
you can
start on
start
the
by
game?
explaining why
I think-
you're disappointed with my take, because it's about your take, not my take. But I'm living rent free in your head before you even try to talk. So I've got blow my nose because I'm dying to sneeze, bit of hay fever. I'll let you come through, Daniel, and then we could have maybe I'll rebuild you.
Are you being rattled right now?
No, I'm needing to blow my nose. I've got a hay fever, bro. So you come through. I'm listening, Daniel.
I just feel probably you got rattled so easy. Yeah, the game we started very very well in the first half. We should have been 3 up in the first 10-15 minutes of that game with magnificent save from Donnarumma, and I had every hope, every confidence, and every atom in my beings made me believe that we're going to win that game by 4-1. So losing that game, seeing how it started, let me just go. Seeing how it started really gave me the confidence that my prediction or my expectation for the game was going to go as planned. Because in the first 15 minutes, we had PSG on the ropes, and if we could have gotten that early goal, boy, oh boy, probably would have been a Champions League final. But unfortunately for us, we are not there. The PSG are in the Champions League final, so we considered a goal in the run of play. We didn't deserve to consider that goal, because if you look at the I think I saw the SG for the goal we considered was about 0.05 something. So to show you how well we are dominating that first half, and especially the first 20 minutes, and the goal we considered really put the team back into their shell, making them doubt their ability, making them doubt themselves. You can see after the goal, we didn't really try to push PSG back, and they just took control of the game. So I was so disappointed. I was so devastated also. And I think that day, in the next day, I couldn't come out of my house. I didn't want to speak to anybody. I didn't want to receive any phone call, put my phone on D&D, because of how devastated I was in that game. And like what Mikel Arteta said, a lot of people are getting in all confused, saying that we were the better team. If you look at the SG and the chance we created in that game, you can clearly see where it's coming from. But a lot of people want to take his comment out of context, trying to say that we are the better. He meant we are the better side. The PSG going into the final with an SG of 3.2, and Arsenal going out of the Champions League with an SG of over 5 points, sometimes scoring just one goal. You can clearly understand what the manager is saying, but I don't get why a lot of Arsenal fans or other fans are getting rattled with that comment. Because if you listen to what he is saying, taking his word out of context really makes no sense. Because you can clearly see from the 50, the SG, the shots we had, no team has had over 19 shots against PSG at their stadium this season, even in the league, even in Champions League. Liverpool were there, Manchester City were there, Aston Villa were there. So the manager coming out to tell you that Arsenal were the better team, he's talking from a place of the SG and the chance we created, the shot on target. Donnarumma was the man of the match in both games, to tell you how well we did. But like the old demon that worried us all through the season strike again in that game, whereby we couldn't put the ball in the back of the net when it mattered most, because there was nobody there to finish those lovely chances we had. And if Saka had scored that second goal, probably we might be having a different conversation. But I don't want people to start blaming Saka for that goal, because it wasn't an easy chance, as a lot of people want to have it, because the ball came to him so quick, and Donnarumma coming out to try to stop the cross, put him off, and so I just say congratulations to PSG. We're not ready. We are not ready to qualify to the final. The team is not set to win the Champions League, and like every other great team who has gone on to win the Champions League, they all have that moment of suffering in semi-final, moment of suffering even in the final. And I feel PSG, they have suffered enough in the semi-final, quarter-final, even in the final. So I say congratulations to them. I hope they win the Champions League.
Daniel, could you just explain to me anything that you said that I didn't say, but I just said it quicker?
No, you're telling me.
I said the exact same thing. I just said it quicker.
You didn't say it.
I said.
Max, did you watch? I can't remember. Did you say you'd watched the PSG?
One pro.
Max? I think Max has fell asleep. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's gone for some smoke.
I'm not sure. He might be back in a minute. Right. Okay. So I think we should leave that there. Right.
Yeah, just one quick thing to come back at Mark. He does love. I'm going to support him here. He does love a yank. I mean, he'd love a quick yank, but it's been 18 months, so that's why he's giving that yank as the stick.
Our best chance was to win 1-0 or 2-1, and then take it to penalties.
This is what I mean. He doesn't understand football at all.
Brian, I think no, because if you saw the first 15, 20 minutes, like me and Daniel have said, we should have scored 3 goals then. And then Saka's goal in the second half. Forget the miss he made. Saka's goal in the second half. We win that 4-3 on aggregate. So
yeah, there was chances there. There was
yeah,
chances
there was
there.
definitely chances there. Definitely.
100%. Daniel, no, actually, I've done like taking the piss out a bit with Daniel, but well, not taking the piss out, but taking the piss a bit with Daniel. You summed up brilliantly, mate, and it's absolutely right. Arsenal could have actually progressed, and the reason we didn't progress, even though, and I'm not making excuses, every club gets some, but if you look at the injuries that we've had this season, it's horrendous.
27 injuries this season.
It's absolutely horrendous. Martin Odegaard has shown glimpses of coming back. At the end of the season, when it's too late,
didn't he, Mark?
Yeah, second half. We're going to the Bindippers shortly, but Odegaard, Saka. Saka's coming back to be back to his best again, but our players are like, we're coming back. But yet we all know, and I've said this, and I'm frustrated, and I'm going to show my frustration on the next part. I'm holding back, Daniel, because there's a lot to way to come out. Should have.
I've noticed that Brian's very black and white, isn't he? In his thought process.
Yes. It's okay. I'll come shortly, but I've got like. Before we move on, I just want to say, right, like about Daniel saying about the team not being set, not ready for Champions League. And Daniel, I actually get your point with this. And the point is that every team has injuries. Every team suffers over the course of the season. But last season, KC didn't do anything in transfer window. They've done 0 in transfer window. I'm not even breaking it down because I'd be angry. And that's why we're not set at this moment in time, Daniel. So if they had done what they should have done, we would have been set going into that. So I get the angle you're coming from with this, and 100%. But for us to actually get to where we were and what we did against Real Madrid, PSG, not being set, for me, is an overachievement. I actually think it's an overachievement. So I agree. I'm glad Daniel pulled that point up because I actually 1,000,000% agree with you. We should not have been anywhere near it. But somehow, and this maybe take us into the next segment, Arteta done his thing. The team done their thing with what's left, and we got there. So for me, an overachievement. But Daniel, great point.
Shall we go on to? I was going to go on to the fan base, but do you want to do the Arteta bit next then?
Well, both of them are coincided with each other.
Well, we could do both at the same time. Okay, so what we're going to talk about now is Arteta, the fan base, and if I can expand on that, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, right? It's how the fan base are reacting to Arteta because of comments that you've already mentioned him earlier, Daniel. The comments that he made. Because every fan base has it. We have a toxic side. We have a toxic side to our fan base, right? Mm-hmm. And as soon as that match was over, the first who did the watch along with me? Was it just you, Richard? Max, are you there?
Yeah.
Max and Richard did it for me. And when I saw we were losing and I thought the game was over, I said that they're going to come straight for Arteta as soon as this game's over. The fan base that want him out, yeah. And it really, really annoys the fan base at the moment. Really, really annoys me because we are like a 50-50 split. Yeah. Half of us can see how good this manager is, and half of us. Do you know what? I'm gonna throw this in there. I'm gonna kind of culminate it all into one thing, and then Mark, I'm going to go to you after I've said my piece for context. Is that all right? Yeah. So what I mean by this is that I said as soon as the game was over, the Arteta out stuff's going to start again, right? And I've heard some really stupid stuff this week. Really stupid stuff. For example, I'm not going to mention any names because don't have to. But one guy said that he'd rather Arsenal were in the Europa League next season than the Champions League because we've got a better chance of winning it. Sorry, but I want Champions League every season. I want Champions League every season. I've heard the fan base say they hate Raya. Yeah? Little things I picked up on all week long. They hate Raya. Yeah? Well, they weren't saying that when he came. Mourinho, we made the point today in the Liverpool game, didn't we, lads?
Yep.
Mourinho scores that goal today, which we'll go into the Liverpool game a little bit later on. But he scores that goal today. Do you remember when we were having this conversation a month ago or so, Mark and Richard? Yeah. Oh, Mourinho's too slow. Mourinho can't do this. Mourinho can't do that. He's nearly in double-figure goals. They soon changed their tune when he started scoring. So what does this, Mark, give me some context, mate, because what does this fan base want?
Yeah, I've seen something yesterday, right, and it's just summed up perfectly for me with this fan base. I use words that people do not like, and it's disconnected FC, because you can support Arsenal, you could buy an Arsenal top, you could put a scarf around your neck, and you can watch them and think you are the person there that is everything to do with our football club. However, because, and I'm not saying that everyone gets the privilege to go to the Emirates, etc. There's certain people in, like, just put his messages down when I'm speaking. Honestly, I don't want to see Brian's shit. Like, you just piss me off a train of thought. The reason that I use these words are, see, when it comes to supporting Arsenal, there's a certain large segment of our fan base when I imagined when we were in 8th place that would never have watched Arsenal. They probably checked the score on a Monday morning. Arsenal got beat again. Arsenal drew with Crystal Palace. Arsenal lost again. And this period's been going on for a period. However, what I saw yesterday was probably, and I'm going to name them. I'm going to name them. But I saw Dan Potts come out. He's one of my favourite podcasters, and I like him. I really like him. Come out. If Arteta doesn't get us to the final of the Champions League, he needs to be sacked.
Yeah, I saw that.
Let's reverse that back. The last time we were in the semi-final of the Champions League was 2009, 16 years ago. Let's take it back further. The only time we've ever been to a Champions League final was 2006. But all of a sudden, injuries, everything else, we can't come out and say, and this is context, like we were almost there. But these guys do this. This is what they do. Content creators, and Dan is fantastic. I love Dan. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Then yesterday I saw the most amazing one ever. Honestly, it blew my mind. Sophie from the Hybrid Squad. What a lovely English American that she is. Snobbery from Arsenal fans that they're looking down on the Europa League and the Conference League when it comes to lifting a trophy. Sorry, Sophie, if you want Arteta sacked because you get second or top 4 or top 5 this season and can't get you into the Conference League, I apologise for you, Sophie. Go and watch LA Galaxy and get to fuck off my screen. I'm not watching Hybrid Squad again for your stupidity. Your absolute idiotic fucking stupidity. You want Arsenal to be in 17th place in the fucking league and go and win a shitty fucking Conference League or Europa League. I'd like, Sophie, away you go. Your American owners are stripping my club of fucking money. You know it. I know it. You put cotton wool over your eye. But hence, I need to see Arsenal win a trophy. It's disgusting. And The reason I'm using Dan and Sophie as like a comparison here, these guys are content creators, so don't actually believe what the shit they're putting out there. They're doing it for clickbait. So the online fans in America, Africa, Asia, Australia, all over the world, jump on the bandwagon, and I get to make some money out of it. And that's all I'm putting down to now. Because this is stupidity. This is beyond stupidity with these fucking fans. And that's them. The rest of the online fans. Sack Arteta. Who are you bringing in?
No one's going to come.
What we're going to do here, we just brought in a sporting director, right? Plans were made by Arsenal to sign Zubimendi. Plans have been made for other summer contract players. So what we're going to do in May, bring in a new sporting director, and in May, what he's going to do is say, yes, Arteta needs to go. Let's rip up all the work that's been done, bring in a new manager who won't want the players that he's got at the club, put in a new style of play, and then by the time he gets around to figuring all that shit out, he's then got to pick what players, if the transfer window's still there. Before we know it, we've got Raheem Sterling back next season. We sign no one. I don't know if you guys actually understand the way a football club fucking actually works. I honestly don't, Des. I don't think they understand. So be disconnected, FC. If I rattle you for saying that, tough fucking shit. Because you're the fan that I do not want on the Emirates sitting beside me. You are that fan. Get to fuck. Next.
Are you done, yeah?
Yeah, until someone else.
No, I'm just checking. I'm just checking.
I'm done. I'm done at this moment, but I'll come back on it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I'm fucking raging.
Take
These people don't know how to fucking support my football club.
Take a second, mate. Take a second. I'll go to someone else, yeah?
Yeah.
Richard, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, you've got the Arteta outs and those diehard Arteta ins. They're the same coin. The fact is, I don't think an Ancelotti, a Pep, a Klopp,
a Simeone
would have done any better this season with the same parameters. I keep all our forwards out, all our key players out at various points of the season with injury. The suspensions, I don't think they'd have done any better. You could replace him, and it's a legitimate debate at some point. But you know, Zidane's not coming in. He wouldn't go to Liverpool, Man United, and like it or not, they've got a better heritage than us. They've got with trophies and their European heritage. Ancelotti's going to Brazil. Simeone is not going to leave Atletico Madrid unless they have a serious falling out and him and the fans fall out of love, and him and the president fall out. So that really, I'll give you 4 possibilities here. Scaloni, the Argentina manager, if he'd leave that post. Inzaghi. You've got Eddie Howe and Thomas Frank, but again, are they any better than Arteta? That's a debate. And then you've probably got the Xavi.
Yeah, but they're just not going to come, because even if you look at Eddie Howe, he's got a good setup at Newcastle. Why is he going to walk away from that? The only way he's going to leave that is if they sack him. Thomas Franks isn't any better. So yeah. Max, you there? Max? No, still no Max. Right, okay. Daniel.
And what? Just
sorry, go on.
Yes.
Sorry, I thought you finished, mate. Sorry.
When the quarterfinals were drawn, Arteta was the least experienced manager in that. with the least amount of trophies, experience. Where did you expect us to do? Actually win the whole thing? In reality, you might have. We all hoped, we all dreamed, but the reality was the semi-finals was probably the best we were going to get.
Fair enough. Is that your last point? Yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel, take it away, mate.
Yeah, I just want to touch more on what Mike said. I feel these days the toxicity in our fan base is getting too loud, and social media is amplifying it. Because I don't get a reason why a fan base who had no striker, a fan base who had one of the worst injury reading season, a fan base who had their best player injured for over 4 months, who has their skipper injured for 2.5 months, who has the only striker they have, Kai Havertz, injured for half of the season, including Gabriel Jesus having an ACL. The best right back of last season, Benjamin White, injured for over more than half of the season. Their best defender out for 4 months. So I don't understand where the overconfidence or the entitlement comes from our fan base to believe that we playing the PSG team who has one of the best, most informed striker currently in Europe in person of Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, one of the best right wingers in the world. They have one of the best goalkeeper, if not the best goalkeeper in the world. A manager who has won the Champions League and won the league for Barcelona before. And it has a manager who is still learning on his job. Have a squad that's not good enough even in the Premier League, and have that entitlement to feel that we should be going into the Champions League final. I find that so rich from our fan base, and I think we need to start calling them out by name. And I'm glad Mike really did that by calling some people out, because it's obvious these people are doing it either for clicks or because
Money. It's money.
they just want to
It's money.
trend.
They're doing it for money. As simple as that. They're doing it for money. They're compromising. They're doing it for money. That is all I can say.
I want to believe that too, Mark. I want to believe that too. But how can you sit somewhere and say you love a club? You're a fan of this club. You're a supporter of this club you love. If Arsenal loses, I don't get to eat. If Arsenal loses, sometimes I don't go out of my house. If Arsenal loses, sometimes I cancel my appointment. So how can I be that one now to put money in front of, like, putting toxicity in the fan base because of YouTube, because of X amount of money? That for me is so annoying, and it's our time we call them out, because I don't understand why it's happening that way. And social media these days really has amplified that rubbish. It has amplified that rubbish. And
Daniel, be careful now, because you're starting to sound delusional. So be careful. All right, you're not. You're starting to sound no. But listen, bro. There'll be other fans now who will be listening to what you've just said, right? And you go, he's delusional. You're not.
Yeah.
I don't care what they feel. I don't care what they say, because it's glaring for. No, I understand. It's glaring for even the blind, the deaf, to understand what's going on in our fan base. The Kroenkes are not going to sack Mikel Arteta, even though we finish out of the Champions League this season. The fan base, they all know, everybody in the Arsenal fan base, including the board, they all know that Mikel Arteta is not going to get sacked. So why come out and say Arteta should be sacked if we don't win the Champions League? It's kind of crazy to me, because no matter the pressure you put right now, they're not going to sack. They're not going to sack Mikel Arteta.
Noise, Daniel. That's the frustrating thing. It's white noise. That's all it is. They can't do anything. Do you
know how much Arsenal earned by going out to PSG? 99.21 million.
I was going to say that'd be around 100 million.
Yeah, 99.21 million. So that's going to go into the, hopefully you would think, or you'd hope, that's going to be added to the 300. It's either going to be part of, or it's going to be added to the 300 million pound war chest. Yeah. Okay, Daniel, what you're saying, you're absolutely, you and Mark, and even the way Richard said it, you're absolutely keeping it 100. I ain't got no problem with that whatsoever, right? But I just want to add something, right? Something I noticed and I picked up on, right? Influence, however you want to call it, right? However you want to call the fan base, I'll just call it like this. And I'll put my chest out when I'm saying this, right? And you guys can expand on this after I'm done, okay? You have my word, right? But there is part of this fan base, whether it be toxic or whatever you want to call it, influencers, right? Who are so focused on getting Arteta sacked, right? I'll just wait for my. You all right, Mark?
Yeah. Sorry.
They're so no, it's cool. I was worried about you. They're so focused on getting Arteta sacked, guys, right? That they've totally lost interest in the football. They don't care about the football anymore. They just want Arteta out. Yeah, they don't see it like we see it. We're fans. We love the team. We love the football, right? Arteta is doing the best job he can with what he's got. Yeah, that's all he's ever done. The best job he can with what he's got. And when he got rid of all the deadwood, and I know we've said it hundreds and hundreds of times, he got rid of everybody that needed to go. You'd agree, yeah? Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah? Right? So the fans and these influencers, as I say, are so focused on getting Arteta sacked because they think they've got some sort of pull or something, yeah? Or some sort of push, yeah? Focus on the team. Focus on the football. Stop being anti this. Stop being anti that. Become positive. Back the team. Because that's all we do. All we do is back the team, and we tell you about it every week on this show or on a watch-along or on a pre-recorded, right? Because at the end of the day, that's how we feel. And I understand that's how they feel. And if things go wrong, make an opinion. That's fair enough. Make an opinion, yeah? But end of the day, don't try and force it onto other people. That's where these influencers are going wrong. I'm right and you're wrong. No, you're not. I support Arsenal my way. You guys support Arsenal your way. We, the four of us at the moment, we have a common ground. Yeah? Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, tell me what you feel about it. I'll go with Mark first. Do you agree with what I've just said?
Yeah, 100% Des. I just think that people online, people doing podcasts, see us guys, right? We'll come around and we try to go tactical. We'll try to do tactical breakdowns. We'll try to do various other stuff. But at the end of the day, every single one of us, as Daniel, like hit it on the nail for me. Like Arsenal lose, I didn't go out my house. I was like down. I was just like almost put myself in a dark room. I'm gutted. I'm devastated. Some of these guys don't give a fuck. And then these guys, like, I don't want to like go deep into the people that follow them, the sheep that follow them, but I'd rather go to the root of the problem. That's why I've said two names. I could go a lot more.
Oh, you could reel off a list as long as you're on.
Yeah, I can. There's one person I would never ever name because I would never want to give him any kind of traction whatsoever.
I know who that is.
Yeah, he's up there with Raheem Sterling in my fucking view of life. But take that to the side. These guys are doing it for money. They're corrupt. Their association with Arsenal Football Club is corrupt through income. And they say it to the positive influencers that are out there. There's some out there, positive ones, and they say that you're corrupt because you've got a connection to the club. Well, you guys are just as corrupt because you know the only way you're going to earn money because these guys are already got that slice of the cake is you have to go the opposite way and you're transmitting your disease onto social media and against the football club. Now, if I'm in 8th place, Paul broke it down beautifully, and I want to get this point out. Paul, go and tend the North Bank guys. Paul does a lot of blogs, and he done a blog about the phases. And he done a podcast the other day regarding each phase. And some of these people, with their opinion, have came out and think phase 1 is 1 year, phase 2 is 2 years, phase 3 is 3 years. Go and read what Paul's wrote and try to understand. A phase doesn't take a year. There's no time scale to a phase that we're going through. That's like there's no time scale to a phase. And you could think I'm making excuses or I'm an Arteta sexual, all the rest of the geography that you want to throw at me. On you go, at it. But the people, if AFTV are corrupt because they earn money and they've got a connection to the club, then so is the negative ones. They're just the same. They've not got the connection to the club. They would never get connection to the club. But what they've got is they're also earning money.
It's in association, though, isn't it? Because if you take Dan Potts as an example, right? Dan Potts is on AFTV. He's got his own channel, and I say fair play to him, right? Fair play, right? Because he's put the work. He's put the work in, right?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
But I think a lot of his subs are off the back of him doing stuff with lead judges and AFTV. More to you. Power to your arm.
Yeah.
You know? Go ahead, Danny.
What I wanted to say is that most of these guys every day they cry for officiating referee not being honest with how they officiate Arsenal game. Yet whenever they talk about Arsenal, they are not honest with their opinion. They are not honest with the fact of what's going on. Yet you want the referee, the PGMOL, to be honest with how they officiate against us. So for me, I feel we some of these fans need to really let us know where they stand with this team. Are you a supporter of this club, or you just following this club because you want to make some revenue from either Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube? So I don't get what's going
Daniel,
on.
I'm with you. And Paul actually put in his blog, if I was like, if you're in the trenches, would you want some of these people around you? The answer's no. Right now, people are bitching online that they can't get a ticket to Arsenal. Go and have a look on next week against Newcastle. You want a ticket against Newcastle? You've got one. It's been like that for weeks. But unfortunately, you don't, because you don't want to support your club. But you want to think that you've got a massive opinion and your opinion is correct on the football club. It's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit.
Empty vessels make the most noise, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolute fucking bullshit. And it annoys the living daylights out of me. I'm proud. I'm proud of Mikel Arteta. I'm proud of the team.
Yeah,
Every single one of them. I'll come in with my opinions and some hot takes of what I think's right and wrong. We'll touch on the Liverpool game. I said during the watch along today that Saliba's like, I think Saliba's got 1 foot in fucking Real Madrid at this moment in time. And I said that during the watch along today.
You did.
That's just my take. It's not like I'm being a downfall of Arsenal Football Club. Saliba's like
the actual words you used, mate, was his head's been turned. That's what they were the words you used.
Yeah. So for me, it's like when I'm mentioning things like Saliba and his head being turned, I'm not like bringing down Arteta, the team, and everything that they've achieved. But other people, who else gets everything that they need? Other managers could pull it through, but Arteta can't. We deserve better. We're promised better. Well, if you want to come to the table and have a conversation with me, I'll have that conversation. But bring the Cronkies into that conversation. Bring the board into that conversation.
But with fairness, you've got 4 guys here who will give people a fair say. Sorry, Daniel, can I just say this one thing? You've got 4 guys here who will give people a fair say. You know what I mean? You've got to have, if you're going to have an argument, or if you want to call it an argument, you've got to have an argument and a counter argument. You can't just spit rubbish. And one thing I will say about Paul's blog that he did this week, I think it was called Real Fans Only. Yeah?
Yeah.
Go and check it out on the channel, guys. It is worth a watch, right? I tell you now, Paul is spitting facts. He is absolutely spitting facts, yeah? So go and check that out on the channel when you get time. If you've got a spare half hour where you're not doing anything, just put it on in the background. Yeah. I just want to add one more thing, and then I'm going to come to you, Daniel. Welcome back, by the way, Richard. Sorry, mate. You dropped out.
Thank you.
Daniel, I'm going to come to you in 1 second, but I want to make one more point. There was one more thing I wanted to bring up, and I'm bringing PSG into this, right? I saw a video on YouTube this morning. Delusional Arsenal fans, okay? That word gets used such a lot. And obviously there was, Ty. There was pictures of Ty everywhere and all that kind of rubbish. Anyway, so they're outside the PSG game the other night, and they asked some Arsenal fans, right, who out of the PSG team would make it into the Arsenal team? And 9 out of the 10 lads said none of them. Well, I'm sorry. I guarantee you one thing, right? Donnarumma would make it in. Vitinho would make it in. Dembele would make it in. Yeah? That's what we have to... Because of a minority, yeah, the majority of us have to suffer. And we get tarred with the same brush as the idiots. And that's what annoys me. Do you know what I mean? Mark, would you honestly say to me, I'll ask you as well, Daniel and Richard, right? Would you actually say none of the PSG players could get into the Arsenal team?
No, there's a number of them that would get. There was a number of them that would get in the Arsenal side.
There you go.
There's at least 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I just feel sentiment and over attachment with how some of these fans are with the players, make them feel that Arsenal no other team player can get into our first 11. So I feel that's just fans being fans.
It's because the problem I've got with it though, Daniel, is I know what you're saying, and you're right, 100. But we all get tarred with the same brush, and we're not all the same. And I wish Brian could spell.
Yeah, true.
It'd be really good.
No, I love that. He does that consistently. It's brilliant. It's funny.
It is. But did you want to say any more about it, Daniel?
I think.
Oh, did you? Sorry, mate. I didn't mean to put you off. Sorry. Richard, have you got anything you want to say?
Not really, because at the end of the day, no matter what we do, as fans, supporters, all that a season ticket entitles us to is to see an X amount of games of football. They don't have to be good. They don't have to win us trophies. There's nothing in that contract that tells you that's what's going to happen. You're just going to turn up and watch a game of football, and it can be pure dross. That's all you're entitled to. Entry into that stadium to watch a game of football. After that, you make of it what you want.
Do you know what? This is actually funny that you brought up the journey part, because I used that on a reply to some negativity when I was expressing like the desire for Arsenal to, as they said, nearly £100 million out of the Champions League. That's a player right there. That's your jockeriness coming into the football club. Where if you really go and win an FA Cup and we're not in the Champions League, we'd get £3 million. £3 million gets you Rob Holding back fucking on loan for a season. Do you know, that's the difference between the two. So you have to be realistic. So when I was talking about my journey and destination, I love that.
That's going to be the next. That's my next segue, mate.
Is that? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, it's cool. You've started it. You might as well carry on with it.
Yeah. Journey or destination. I reply back when I'm going down to watch Arsenal. I travel from Scotland, obviously the accent. Travel from Scotland. I know if they arrive in London to go and see the Arsenal, I don't get irritated at Newcastle. I know where my destination ends. So if you guys you guys get irritated at this stage of our journey, then maybe I don't know, maybe take a plane down and hopefully it gets there quicker. But either way, I'll be on this journey until the destination's there. So.
Yeah, we haven't finished this journey yet by a long shot. I don't even know where the destination is at the moment, to be honest with you. I know where Arsenal is, but I'm using it in a different metaphorical way. I don't know.
I think we're on phase 3.
Do you?
And if you go back, because if you go back and you actually read Paul's blog, now I read Paul's blog and his take, and Paul is a very storm Arsenal fan. Like, he is very hardcore Arsenal fan, thick and thin. Paul's there, and he's got a wife, kids. I think Arsenal come somewhere in between the two of them. If I'm being honest, is that bad? So I understand where he comes from, but out with his words. I took it in, processed it, took my own thinking, and then went back to the process again. And I think that we're probably at phase 3 of this. Now, the process could be speeded up if we've got fucking Abramovich on steroids, as in Tom Bowley, that'll go and put 1.5 million into a football club. Right, fair play, that'll be speeded up. However, it's not, and it's organic the way that we're doing it. So for me, it's just the journey. The journey will happen. We will win a Champions League under Mikel Arteta. And see, when we do, this is the sad thing about it. I've got to go through the process of listening to their shit, and they're going to come back. When we win a Champions League, I'll go back and I'll say to them, "You were wrong." They'll come back and say, "That's all we've ever wanted." And this is what they're saying. So there's no comeback at them. They think there's no comeback at them. You're idiots. You're fucking idiots. I do not want you. Arsenal football.
Daniel's got a call.
Is that Mikel Arteta?
Yeah, have you got Mikel Arteta on speed dial, Daniel?
No, it's Howard Webb.
No,
Howard Webb, yeah.
Howard Webb.
Yeah. So,
Anthony Taylor. It's Anthony Taylor.
I want to say it's not Michael Alford, or I would think you're cheating on me there. But,
not Mike Oliver.
I think you would be cheating on me there, Daniel. But yeah.
I'll never.
Do you know what I mean personally, Mark? I like what you said there, right? I do like what you said there. But for me, there aren't any phases. There aren't any phases. Just let the man do his chuffing job.
That's you just took one of my madness. Who cares? Who care about face?
Job.
Your missus is caring about what face you're in, Daniel.
No, you're right. Let the man. I agree, bro. Let the man just do his job. You know what I mean? Do you, Mark? Do you genuinely care what phase we're in?
I don't, because like if we were like fuck the faces for a second, right? We push it to the side. When we were in 8th place, I was an Arsenal fan.
Daniel, take it and then come back in, mate. Drop out.
Don't say take it in front of Richard. So yeah. I'm Daniel. Do you want? Yeah. Right, okay. So just going back to the point, yeah, you're right. To be an Arsenal fan, you shouldn't be caring what phase we're in. You're an Arsenal supporter. If we're 8th, we're doing absolute shit. We're giving away our best player to Barcelona and having to pay off somebody's salary to the amount of 20 million, I believe. Then I was an Arsenal fan then. I'm an Arsenal fan today.
You'll be an Arsenal fan and you'll be an Arsenal fan tomorrow.
Exactly. So for me, it's like, yeah, you're right. It's like I'm in the trenches with Arsenal regardless. We use the podcast to like talk Arsenal and it's our passion, etc. But at the same time, we could be critical, and it's fair enough to be critical. But I'll be critical on Mikel Arteta when I feel, and that could be next season. And I might come on and argue with you guys at the end of next season. We signed Gyökeres, well, a striker, sorry, I'll not name names, but a striker, couple of midfielders, winger, maybe a defensive player, goalkeeper. Then next season, if we're at the same stage, I might come on here and say, do you know what? Maybe Arteta is not the guy to get us over the line. But until that point, I'm never going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be absolutely fine. I'll be absolutely 100% with you, mate, right? Okay. I look at it this way. I know why Paul said phases in his blog, because he needed to break it down. I get that. I absolutely get that. So people can understand where Paul's coming from. Yeah. It simplifies it a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But as an actual Arsenal fan, and this is not taking anything away from Paul, and I'm just going to check my volume. Are my volume levels right?
Oh, it's perfect, bro.
Yeah. Oh, good. Am I in the right place? I'm in the right place, aren't
Well, nearly.
I? Sorry, Paul, just a little dig there, mate. But all I'm saying, bro, is this. As an Arsenal fan, right, and looking at the bigger picture, yeah, and I know you agree, I don't give a flying whatever what phase we're in.
Yeah.
I don't. I really, really don't. I see it this way, right? We proved something this season without a striker, right? We proved a couple of things, right? Positives and negatives. We proved that we need a striker, but we also proved that look how far we got without one.
Exactly.
Yeah? Look at Mourinho. Mourinho stepping up. If you'd have said to me halfway through this season, yeah, oh, Mourinho's going to be playing up front, by the way, I'd have laughed at you. And not because I think he's rubbish or anything like that, because that's not his position.
Yeah.
And look what he's done. Yeah? Saka stepping up. Look at Skelly, man. Skelly has come on levels. He's making runs that no right back should make. Yeah? He's so strong with the ball. You've said it all, Mark. Yeah? You've said it all about Skelly. He's your boy. Yeah? I 100% get it. He is your boy. But he's becoming mine. Yeah?
I love him.
And I said today, I'll put my hands up. I said, Richard, I'll come to you in a minute, mate. Sorry, mate. I will come to you. But I'll put my hands up. I said today in the watch along, right? I said, do you know what? I'd rather have Gabriel and Kivior as the centre backs at the moment.
Yeah.
Because that's how I feel. Saliba looks great. And yes, he can get it done when he needs to get it done, right? He looks great. But for me, Gabriel's the better defender. And that's me being 100 with you people. And if you disagree with me, fair enough. If you agree, fair enough. But look at the fans have to take off the rose-tinted glasses. The problem with our fan base as well, bros, yeah, is this. 99% of our fan base want everything yesterday.
Yep.
Got no patience. They've got no patience. We haven't won a Champions League. We need to win a Champions League now. And I've got to be honest, I thought this season was the best chance for us to win a Champions League. But as you say, things happen and it didn't work out. But we learnt a lot of things.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? What do you think, Richard? What's your thoughts on it?
Well,
try not to take
I'm one of the most optimistic fans out there.
Sometimes you're too optimistic, but there we go.
Yeah, but I don't think this is the end of Arteta's journey yet. He can be criticised, and you can have that debate. I'm quite happy to have that debate. But I haven't seen anything from his management style, or even this season, that suggests to me that he's hit his level, and he's gone as far as he can go, and he can't get us a Premier League title or a Champions League title. I still seen enough from him to suggest that he can do that.
Do you know what we really needed on this show tonight? I'm going to put this out there. We needed an Arteta out person on this show.
Yeah.
Because I think.
No, sorry. No. I don't think any of them would come on the show. They'll jump on to the bandwagon of sheep.
Well, I'm a wolf. I'm not a sheep. I'm a wolf.
Yeah, but that's what they do. They'll jump in the chat of being like to be a sheep, and that's what they do. And that's exactly what they do.
Well, I'll tell you what. Hold on 1 second, bro. Everybody who's watching, if there are any Arteta out fans out there, and I'm sure there are, put in the comments why. Have a debate with us.
Oh,
Have a
come on and have an
Or
argument with
message
me.
us and we'll set up a show and
If
debate
you've
it
got
properly.
WhatsApp, we'll send you the link and you can come on and have a debate with us. It doesn't have to be tonight. It can be next week, whenever, right? But if there are any Arteta out people in the chat on any of the platforms, get on YouTube and fight your case. Because I'm willing to listen as much as I'm willing to give it. And I know Mark and Richard are, and I'm sure Daniel will be when he comes back. As much as I'm willing to give it, I'm willing to listen as well, right? Because that's how debates get sorted. So if you want to join in the chat and tell us why you're Arteta out, please do. Because I genuinely would really like to know. I don't care if you're subscribed or not. It'd be lovely if you were subscribed, but if you're not subscribed, I don't care. Get your comments in the chat and tell us why. And we will give you a fair go. Genuine. And if you want to come on the show, we'll definitely give you a fair go. All right? I thought one came in then, but it's the host message, Mark. Anyway, guys, we've still got a bit to go. We've got about half an hour to go. So if you want to get your points of view in, get it in the comments, please do. And I'm sure Mark, me, or Richard, or Daniel, when he comes back, if he comes back, will happily have a discussion with you. No problem whatsoever. Right. So that's Arteta covered, the fan base covered. We've done the journey and the destination, right? Trophies, Mark. I've got trophies written down here. Do you want to explain why you wanted to talk about that?
Yeah. The only bit that I want to speak about trophies is that over, in my eyes, and this is my opinion, people could disagree, and if you do disagree, come back at me. Trophies get mentioned a lot, and for the last couple of years, when Arsenal started to really compete, we have realised that we don't have a squad that can make us compete.
Mm-hmm.
The squad is obviously too small. So at the start of every season, we've got 4 trophies that we could go for. We could either do the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, Premier League, Champions League. So the trophy bit, but the reason I want to bring it up is if you want us to win a trophy earlier, we could drop out the Champions League and get to Europa League or the Europa Conference League. The chances are now, with the new formats, we'll win them. So there's a trophy for you. If you want an FA Cup, I've said it before, it gives you a prize money of £3 million. Nobody actually puts any of the big teams that are in there. This, through whatever has happened, this cup has lost its value, and it has done. It's started to lose it over the last 10 years. Like just hold it and you come back, right? It's lost it because the Champions League, the rest of the money is there. Then we get to the Champions League. Arsenal get to a semi-final, it's nearly 100 million, if not 100 million, come out with that to Arsenal Football Club. Again, you'll try to say that my accountant, etc., and I shouldn't be caring about this, so on. I'm just trying to give you perspective.
There's context, isn't it?
Yeah, if we win the FA Cup, we get £3 million. We get to a semi-final of Champions League, get 100 million. It's new players, it's growth, etc. And our American owners will take 90% of that and we're left with whatever. But it is what it is, right? And that is what it is, and that's a different podcast. So when I speak of me personally, not all Arsenal fans, just Mark Taylor personally, I am absolutely starving for a trophy. I want to see armpits. I want to see silverware above my players' heads. I want to get the fruits that should be there for what we're producing. And that is not an FA Cup. That is not a Carabao Cup. I want a Champions League. And I want a Premier League. That's what I want. So that's my personal take on it, Des. That's why I mentioned trophies.
No, I get it.
If Arsenal fans are okay finishing 8th and we pick up an FA Cup, Charity Shield, Carabao Cup, Charity Shield, FA Cup and think it's successful, and that's what they want for us, the football club, on you go. But for me personally, I don't care about these trophies. I want a Premier League in it, or the Champions League, or both.
I'm the same. Yeah, I must admit, I'm the same. Richard, I want to go to a comment because Retroholic Gamer has said why he's Arteta out, but I want to just on the trophies. What's your? I'll come to your comment in a minute, Gamer. All right.
Yeah, right. He's won the third biggest trophy available to him already.
Yep.
First one has to be the Premier League because that's the bread and butter.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say the Champions League because it's the best in Europe and the prize money and that, but your bread and butter is the league you're in. That has to be number one. Then the Champions League, then the FA Cup, then the Carabao Cup. He's already proved he can win a cup. So there's nothing there to suggest he can't. And you're not going to win every trophy. I mean, I think there's 96 teams in the FA Cup, 100 odd in the Carabao Cup, 30. You got 19 teams in the Premier League, and you've got, I think, like 32 in the Champions League. That's it. But and the quality varies. So it's never going to be straightforward win. You're going to need a bit of luck along the way with games and injuries and bits and pieces. And you're also going to need a little bit of skill, which I think he's got. But trophies will define him in the end of the day. But give him the time to prove that he can do it.
Fair enough. Daniel, what have you? Did you hear the bit about trophies, mate? Okay.
No.
How do you? What? I don't know how to approach this one with you because you didn't hear what Mark said. Trophies. What do you want Arsenal? I'll simplify it just for a minute. What do you want Arsenal to win, mate? The Champions League and the Premier League. Would you also take the Premier League? Just the Champions League. Oh, okay.
Like if I'm to choose, which one am I going for? The Champions League. My reason is because if we win the Champions League, I feel like I've seen Arsenal win every possible trophy they can win in my time.
So we get the set. You basically say we get the set, yeah?
Yeah, I've seen us win the Premier League, though I was little, but I've seen us win the Premier League in my time. I've seen us win the FA Cup. I've seen us, then I'll see us win the Champions League. The Carabao Cup, for me, I don't rate the Carabao Cup, so I can't say. I think we won in 92, then I wasn't born there, so I can't say anything about that. So for me, the Premier League. But if I'm to choose, the Champions League for me is the BNN for me. It means I will win what I want them to win.
Cool. That's cool. Me.
Someone was saying in the comment.
I'm just about to do that. Don't worry, Daniel. We're getting into that. I want Mark to come back though. I'm waiting for Mark to come back. Me, I would like the Premier League, and I would like the Champions League.
If you have to choose, which one are you going to take?
Well, I'd like both, but if
take one.
Champions League, because we need the set, and then it would stop all the Arsenal haven't won a Champions League and blah blah blah, you know. So yeah, Champions League. If I had to only pick one, it would be the Champions League.
Yeah, Richard, I wanted to ask Richard something. We've won a European trophy. I would like to know what's the equivalent of the European trophy we won.
The Super Cup. Yeah.
No, Cup Winners' Cup.
Cup Winners' Cup, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, it probably is. I mean, you're probably looking at the Europa League or the old format of the Europa League, isn't it? But that's the closest.
There's no comparison, Daniel. What happened was with the Cup Winners' Cup when we won that, back in the day, the Champions League would have been only the team that won the league entered that competition, and your major cup competition, which would have been the FA Cup for us, would have entered into the Cup Winners' Cup.
Yeah.
And it was the same for every other team. So you didn't have this where England could have 6 representatives in the Champions League next season. You had to win to enter that. And Arsenal won the FA Cup, went in and won the Europa League.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
guys.
It's the Europa League's the closest, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
Right, guys.
Yeah.
I need a minute. I just need a minute, right? Okay. Right. Retro Gamer is telling us why he is Arteta out. So can we show him some respect? Is that all right?
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll try.
Yeah, okay. So hold on. Show. Right, I'll read it out. Yeah. I'm Arteta out, but only because I feel giving the manager more than 5 years to win something is long enough. Blaming we don't have a squad isn't on either for me. Okay, that's what he says to begin with.
Right.
In that 5 years, Mikel Arteta has won the FA Cup and won 2 Community Shield. So how come he hasn't won anything? There's a question for him.
If you want to answer that question, Retro, it'd be appreciated. Mark, what do you want to say?
He's more interested in the destination than the journey, which explains what kind of Arsenal fan he is.
Okay. Be gentle, Mark. Be gentle.
I'm being gentle.
Richard, what do you think?
Well, I mean, similar to Daniel, he has won a trophy. It's why is 5 years more than enough? Considering the aspect of what he took over.
Well, the thing is, I mean, I'm going to chuck something in there as well, just quickly. Thank you, Retro, for your comment, mate, and thank you for being part of it.
He's a top guy. He's a top guy. He's in a lot of our podcasts.
Yeah. Thank you, and thank you for having the balls, basically. Excuse my language. Having the balls to tell us why. We really do appreciate it. But even the great Alex Ferguson took longer than Arteta has taken. So, yeah. But he's got another one here, which I'm going to put up as well. The squad depth to nobody forced Arteta to recruit 4 left backs and keep injury-prone players like Jesus, sign players like Marino, Vieira, Tavares, Sambi, left back. These players shouldn't have been signed.
Okay, do you want me to take that?
Yeah,
I can take it, or I'll let you go first.
Well, you can all have a go. Go on,
Let the guys come through, because that's
Daniel, you go first, mate. Sorry, I didn't see your hand up. I apologise.
Yeah.
You go first.
First of all, Mikel Arteta didn't sign 4 left back. We only have Zinchenko and Kieran Tierney as a left back. Kieran Tierney was supposed to be moved on. We were unable to sell Kieran Tierney. What's his name? Miles Lewis Kelly is not a left back. Ricardo Clary was signed as a backup for Gabriel Magalhaes. So I don't understand how you got your fact to say we signed 4 left back. That aside, players you say like Mikel Merino is almost on double figures this season for goals. Player like Vieira is doing well in FC Porto currently. Tavares is doing well in Lazio in his loan spell. The only player you can even want to talk about, Sambi Lokonga, who has been playing with hamstring, coming back, getting injured. So I don't know where it's coming from. People like you want to see Arsenal, one of the promising stars in Portugal. Why we sign him? Same goes with Sambi Lokonga, Tavares. Mikel Merino was the one who won Spain the Europa League recently. And a lot of Arsenal fans were crying that we should sign Mikel Merino. We signed the player. But you guys are not ready to even give players the time, even to adapt to the league. You just want to crucify everything because of how the season has gone through. So for me, I'm not going to take you serious, because things like this, it's not something I expect you to be saying.
Mark?
Daniel, brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and I agree. I'll add a couple of bits to it. Players like Mourinho, has stepped up this season like there's no tomorrow. It is his first season. He came from a bad injury because Gabriel gave him one in training. It dislocated his shoulder. But players like Mourinho, I find that funny. Jesus took us to a new level. To get from going from 8th in the league to where we are to this day, we had sign players like Jesus. We had to sign players like Kieran Tierney, Vieira, Tavares, Sambi. Some of them didn't work. Yeah, fair play. I'll hands down to that. Absolutely hands down to that. But each step to get from when you're 8th in the Premier, flip that slightly and say defenders. So the defenders that Arsenal have signed were stockpiling defenders. If it hadn't been for what we did for stockpiling defenders, where the fuck would we have been this season? Because these defenders are the ones that have actually got us out the manure by a mile. That's my take. And we've needed every single one of them at some given point. Nobody knew Ben White would go down. Nobody knew Gabriel would go down.
Timber,
yep. Oh, Paul's Finlay coming up. Do you want to bring her up? So
Yeah.
I did. So I could do that. But to my last point to Retro, and he is a great guy. My last point to Retro is Arteta is not the person that gives you a burger when you go into the stadium. Arteta is not the person that fixes the fucking ground and heals the grass.
Oh no,
Arteta, I'll be up in a second. Arteta is not. He's that pissed he can't even let yourself in. Fucking give him a set of keys to the house and he can't even get yourself in.
Ah,
So Arteta is not the person that does every job at the football club. So when you go on about signings, it's not all on Arteta. There is also a sporting director there. There's also directors there. There's people that actually could do it, could do more than just blame every single aspect of Arsenal Football Club on Arteta. So Redro, I appreciate that. Bring up the next question. Paul, good evening. How are you, sir?
Evening, Paul.
he's frozen, isn't he?
No, he's not frozen. He doesn't know where his phone
He doesn't know where he is. He don't know what time it is. Richard,
Trying to look at the Emirates
Richard,
Stadium again.
do you want to say anything about this comment?
Yeah. I mean, it's you're right to criticise Arteta. He is partly to blame, but he's not the only one. What? He's not the only one, because he doesn't control the money. He'll put the suggestions for players forward. And you stole my thunder on the fact that without those defenders, we just struggled this season. But
is he still trying to get in?
yes.
Yeah. Go on, Richard. Go on, Richard.
Those other players, you can't help. You don't know when you sign a player whether he's going to be a success or not. There's a risk with every single player. And yes, there's been more mistakes with this regime than successes. But as I said, that's not all on Arteta. You can look at a player, you can see what he does in another league, and it looks fantastic. Bring him here, and it might not work. Or when again, I'll go to look. Everyone says we need a 20-goal striker a season to win the league. Van Nistelrooy didn't win the league when we won it with Henry. Henry didn't win it when they won it with Van Nistelrooy. And this season, Isaac at Newcastle's going to hit 20 goals, more than likely. I doubt. And he's not going to win a league. So a 20-goal a season striker isn't going to guarantee you winning the league. It takes a lot more than that. He has to be criticised, and he has to be. You can make those criticisms, but it's not all on him.
Good evening, Paul. No, put your mic on.
You're absolutely correct. Absolutely correct, Paul.
Yeah, whatever you're saying,
Go on,
you're
Paul.
absolutely right.
Paul, there's no sound. Paul, do you actually realise a podcast without sound does not work?
And he's a technician.
This is our IT guy.
This is Mark.
I just want to say Vieira I would have back tomorrow.
Mark.
Sort
He's a
your mic out, Paul. Sort your mic out. Right, we've
I
got
don't know.
another,
I quite like mine.
we've got another one from Retroholic here. I've got to say fair play to Retroholic because he didn't have to put this in the chat, so fair play to him.
He's bringing up some decent valid points.
Shield isn't a trophy for me, though. Is pre-season opener, and saying that he won the trophy a trophy for me is absurd. He inherited a team, won it. He then chucked them all under the bus. Oh God, I think you've hit the. I think you've lit the paper
All right,
here, mate.
can I go first? Unless Paul's got sound on now.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Right. No, I agree. The charity shield isn't a trophy; it's a shield. But he won a trophy. Onslaught's Premier League not valid because he inherited the team from Klopp. It's not his team. I don't think so. I don't think he'll value it any more or any less. Who's on the old harmonica?
Daniel,
Yes.
I believe.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, at some point, a manager
Paul's so struggling.
some point in every manager's career, they're going to inherit a team, and they will win with that team. Is that trophy invalid then? Because that seems a little bit absurd to me.
Right. Thanks for that, Richard. Yeah, that felt a bit heartfelt, to be honest with you. Daniel, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, I don't understand why people say the charity shield is not a trophy. The charity shield can only be won by two. You don't get to compete in the charity shield by being mediocre. You have to qualify for the charity shield, just like I was asking about the Cup Winners' Cup. You can only qualify for the Cup Winners' Cup because you have won a trophy in your country, right? Same way, you can only win the charity shield if you have won the FA Cup or you won the Premier League.
Or if you've
So I don't
or
get
if the
why.
team who's won the Premier League has also won the FA Cup,
FA
it
Cup.
goes to the
I
team
understand
second
that.
in the Premier League.
In other words, you have to be great. You have to be good to be in that position to win that trophy. When Jurgen Klopp was getting his farewell from Liverpool, they were counting the charity shield as part of his trophy he won for Liverpool. Just recently, Jamie Vardy announced he's going to leave Leicester City. The charity shield was posted among the trophies he won. So I don't get it when the winner of the Champions League and the winner of the Europa League gets to play the Super Cup. So why is that called a trophy? But the winner of the Premier League and winner of the FA Cup is not called a trophy. So I don't get it. For me, it's a trophy. If you want to say because it's titled as a shield, that's your own cup of tea. For me, that's a trophy. That's a because there's a medal involved in that. And you have to be great. You have to have done something good in the season before that to be able to qualify to play that. And the FA Cup, for you saying Mikel Arteta hasn't won anything, I agree with you, Richard. So does it mean Arne Slot a Premier League title is not valid because he inherited basically 95 to 98% of Jurgen Klopp team? I don't think so. So
Retro,
I don't agree with you.
I will say this, right? I've done a watch along with Daniel, right? And he scared me, right? So if Daniel's talking to you like that, he genuinely means it, yeah? You did scare me on that watch along, by the way, Daniel. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Anyway, Mark, we've only got
Manchester
10 minutes
City
to go, and I do want to cover the Liverpool game. But please give your comments on.
Yeah, like retro. I think you've got a valid point. Everything that you're saying is absolutely on the money, and I think we should sack Arteta today, massively. We should sack him today for almost guaranteeing us to get in Champions League football next season. Fuck me, if this idiot did not get rid of Kolasinac and fucking Koscielny and bro, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Imagine even like I love Elmeni.
What
Imagine
about Gwen Doozy? Let's chuck Gwen
Oh,
Doozy.
Glenn Doozy in there.
Mustafi?
Mustafi. Like, we should have
Ozil. You could even throw Ozil in there, mate.
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. If we still had these players, we'd be back in 8th in the Conference League and we would be winning a trophy. Come on, Arteta. Come on. Retro, I'm with you. Retro.
Can
I'm
I
on
just
your
say,
back. Come on, son.
Can I just say the lads are just joking, and can I just say thank you for putting your comments in the chat, because you didn't have to. I called out the chat and asked them to put something in, and you had the decency to do it, so I respect you for that. But please get in touch with us in some way, somehow. If you know one of us, get in touch with us. Genuinely, we'll have you on the show, mate, won't we?
Yeah, of course we will.
Yeah, we definitely have you on the show. Genuinely,
I think he makes great points.
he does, and it would be a really, really.
He chucked the
good
team
debate.
under the bus. He chucked the team under the bus.
Can I make one more point?
No,
you can't. Absolutely not. Because
no, because I've only got 8 minutes left, and I want to cover the Liverpool. Go on, quick.
I'll take him half an hour.
If we still had Aubameyang, had he not let Arteta down, had he not let the team down, and had he not let himself down, we would have won more. But he let himself down, and he let the club and Arteta down.
If we still had
Aubameyang, we would have won the Champions League this season.
Miles Lewis-Kelly we wouldn't have won the Champions League this season because Aubameyang's past it. Miles Lewis-Kelly, Ethan, these guys would not be at the standard they are. They would not be coming through the academy playing the way that they are. So your point's invalid. But thanks for your input, Richard.
Yeah, basically what Mark's just said, Richard, is shut up. That's what he's just said.
Is it? Oh,
Right,
sorry. I couldn't quite hear. It's too far from.
Well, he's too far up north.
He's
too far up north for you, isn't he? Yeah.
No, he's too far. I'm too high for it.
Before we go on to the Liverpool match, and then I am going to close the show down. I just want to plug Ruth Beck Art again, guys. It's a competition we're running. All you've got to do is put in the comments hashtag Ruth Beck Art. Right. You have to like this video, subscribe, and you'll be put into a draw to win a watercolor. If you read the ticker, all the information is in there. Okay. She does amazing pieces of art. Have you got anything we can bring up, Mark, just to show the people?
Yes, I can. Yeah. This is actually from inside my house, and Richard, don't get excited.
They're all Arsenal themed as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
I'm not the one who gets excited.
Oh, this is like my site's doing it. If you go into the design,
all right, okay.
You'll be able to get the pictures up, but it's playing up.
Okay, 1 second. Let me see if I can bring something up. Yeah, it's running a bit slow, Mark, for some reason. I don't know why. Oh yeah. I've got them. So this is a piece of Ruth Beck art, guys. This one here. What else we got? We got this one here. Some good pictures of the Emirates. There's hybrid.
Is that kind of
one? Again,
the play on the front, the previous.
We'll have a look.
Okay. Yeah. Is that kind of one
or it could be Kanu. I'm not sure. Might be Kanu, mate.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I was just, don't worry. I had a ping there. Sorry, I apologise. What else? Let's have a look quick. This is one here. Right.
Yeah, nice. This is my house. This is my house, guys. This one is the best one ever.
Explain. Tell the story.
Yeah, I got this. I got this sent, right? I asked Ruth for a surprise. And she sent this to me. And I loved it. I was like very intrigued, right? I knew it was Highbury, but I just didn't understand it. Stuart McFarlane, our photographer, took that picture. Sorry about like the light shining through in the corner because it's not doing it justice. But this is Stuart McFarlane took this. This guard used to get put in place at Highbury to almost protect or the director's box. So the directors would be sitting around there. He's sitting at the top of the stairs, and it's just a look out on the field into the stand. And it's honestly, it's what I actually think is my favourite photo
Yeah,
that
it's
I've
cool.
got. And my house is absolutely covered. I could have took pictures from Ruth's Ruth's website. I didn't want to. I want to try and express how much I love Ruth's work. And guys, you could win this.
You could. That's the thing. And
Yeah,
we've got a
you could
couple of
actually
others as
win
well.
this.
We've got a couple of others as well. Look at this. Odegaard and the
Arteta,
manager. We've got
I like
Havertz.
yeah,
Waka
Waka. This is brilliant.
Terry Henry, but I've got to say, I think this one is my absolute favourite. I've got to be honest.
Do you know what? My second favourite is this one.
This
It's
one I'm
the final,
going.
it's the final day of Highbury. And Henry went to the corner flag. Everything's finished. Arsenal's won. And like you see the clock end there, and Henry's just bent down, taking it all in. So if you just look at a picture and that's all you do, then fair play to you. But if you actually look at the methodology behind it, it's just
You can feel the atmosphere. You can actually feel it.
yeah. And Ruth explain. Do you know what? I feel that in Ruth's work. I love it. Honestly, I love her work. My house is covered in it.
So, guys, she's also on Twitter. So if you look up Ruth Beckart at Ruth Beckart on Twitter and give her a follow, that'd be much appreciated as well. Do you know what I mean? Right, let's get back to it. Good evening, Paul. Can you hear us?
Good evening.
Hey!
It's taken me 10 attempts to sort this heap of junk I've got as a laptop out.
I
From the
have
hotel.
exorcised the demons.
I have realised my demons. And yeah, look, I'm here. I've navigated the road system to Yorkshire. I've sat in a pub in Yorkshire to watch the game. I've had copious amounts of alcohol, which is fair enough. And I've heard lots of Liverpool fans giving it large. Well, sorry, for 90 seconds of the first half.
Yeah.
And yeah, come the end of the game, they were a little bit quiet and they drifted off pretty quick. It's quite shocking, really.
Well, we were just about Paul. We were just about to talk about the Liverpool game. Yeah.
You're joking me? What? 2 hours in?
Yeah. Look, you do it your way. We do it ours. You know what I mean? I'm the host with the mostest. Yeah. Right. The reason I do it that way because we've actually covered. Just 1 second.
Well, God,
Eight
just bring the
topics.
encyclopedias out.
I will. We've covered 8 topics this evening. 8 topics. When you do a show, we cover 2. We cover 2 topics when you do a show.
Yeah, all right.
Plus, it's Mark's fault. His little legs can't cover that much ground.
Just say something for us, Paul, because I just want to check your volume levels.
Fuck you.
Are you sure you're in the right place?
Did you hear that? All right. Yeah, I'm just checking.
I'm enforcing it, brother. I'm enforcing it.
Hey, enforcer, don't come for me, I'll tell you. I've been brewing all night, I'll tell you what, the pub was very quiet.
Give us your take on the Liverpool game, man. Just give us your take.
Well, where'd you go? I mean, I weren't, because I was obviously on the road up towards the game, I didn't have TalkSport. I didn't want to listen to anything, and I got checked in. We'd done a bit of work beforehand. I've got to my hotel about an hour before the game, and as you do with a bit of sun, we've gone into the beer garden, and they're like literally nothing related to the game. I've literally just gone and just checked on the phone.
Yeah.
Team lineups come up, and obviously I've seen Declan Rice not being there.
Yeah.
And I'm just like dreading it. When you look at it and you think, in the grand scheme of things, this is a massive game. And you know what I mean? You go and lose this game, everything is becoming more and more condensed. What is it? It was 4 points between second and seventh.
Yeah. It was. Yeah.
And I looked at it and I just thought, look, these are the games where you want the best team. And again, I thought we ended up lining up just like we did against PSG at home. There isn't the balance. There isn't the whole kind of cohesive kind of energy that we've got within the team, like we started in Paris. And I was dreading it, to be honest. I dreaded it as soon as I got there. As soon as I got to the pub, beer helped me calm my thoughts. And look, I thought we played fairly well in the first half. I thought we commanded it, apart from 90 seconds.
Yeah. 90 seconds of madness. With just 2 laps of concentration.
I mean, we know Liverpool. We know the strengths. You know how they play. They like to play forward. They play quick, direct, and break the lines. And unfortunately, I think on this occasion, you had Lewis Skelly, you had Kirill, and they got caught out on both sides. I think well, not so much on the first goal. Sorry, the cross come in, everyone shut off.
Yeah.
And it was almost too good. You look at Ben White on that side. Why have they switched? Why have they switched from Ben White coming inside to then going back outside, and then Saliba is just, well, no one's checked behind, and Saliba's obviously carried on as he was, and the guys nipped in after being onside and then scored the header. But we had exactly the same on our side for our goal for Martinelli's.
Yeah, true.
But overall, I look at it and I say the second half, that showed me that this team means a lot. Yeah, they've got a lot of fortune in them. They could have easily, like yesteryear, like many years, that could have been a 4-5 5-0 kind of like result or whatever. They could have totally crumbled. They could have just literally just gave up. But whatever Arteta said, the tactical changes, getting close to the players, something happened in that second half. And they actually showed that they were a proper team together, wanting to get the best out of what they could.
Yeah.
And look, and I'll take that point all day long.
Yeah, I mean,
at that point,
me, Richard, and Mark were doing a watch along this afternoon, mate. And after the first half, we were just like, oh, you know what I mean? We was flat, really flat. And within in the first 5 minutes of the second half, I think I can speak for the other two. I mean, they'll tell you themselves, but I think I can speak for the other two lads. In 5 minutes, we all felt we were going to win the game because just making that change of putting Trossard on the left and Martinelli down the middle made the difference.
I just think just in general, I've just thought the whole kind of energy from the first half to second half totally changed. You look at the passes. There were so many simple passes that were passed a yard to the side where it needs to be. There was nothing crisp. There was nothing kind of fluid to it all. And this second half, we were linking up. We were getting in amongst the players. And then we were creating problems. But again, that front three will interchange and they'll go into positions where, you know what I mean? I don't think you could even class anyone that's being through the centre because I think they just appear everywhere.
Yeah, I
you
get your
saw
point.
you saw Saka coming into the centre. Again, it's only because that he's been doubled up in the on the wide area that you're trying to then look for space to kind of come into. And yeah,
The
I
only
think the whole
only-
thing, the whole atmosphere was just like it was buzzing. I think from the fans to everything in the second half, you could hear the Arsenal fans, and it was a brilliant. And then in the second half,
yeah,
Arsenal fans,
you
we
could hear
forgot that you were here.
yeah, yeah,
Champions,
yeah.
the fans of the champions at home, and you think that would be an absolute bedlam, and it was nothing.
Lewis Skelly had Salah in his pocket, right? The only real controversial point, unless any of you guys can think of any others, but the only one that's coming to my mind is Saka being strangled and we didn't get a free kick.
Mate, I've seen Saka kicked up in the air and got a no card. I'm working away with a Tottenham fan, and I proved it to him. And I said, look, we get an absolute shoe-in when it comes to refereeing decisions. I showed him the Saka and what was who was the Palace defender? God, what is his name?
Gay.
No. Oh God, where he's literally swung through Saka and got absolutely nothing. And Saka's just gone through the air, and basically the referee just said, "Play on."
Yeah.
I think
Milenko
something.
Milinkovic. No.
Milinkovic. No.
I'll find it. I'll tell you. I mean, I even searched up in YouTube Saka kicked up in the air just to think because they were so bad.
Against Chris
MacArthur.
I was right with the M.
Oh, yeah, that's good, man. That's close enough. And I was sitting there. I was sitting there. That is that is the North Bank side. And you're looking at it, you're thinking, like everyone's like said, and we were looking 4 or 5 rows down. That's a fucking red card all day long.
All day long, bro. All day long.
The referee just says, play on. I don't even think got a yellow card for it.
The linesman was only 6 feet away.
Paul, do you know what? See what happened today? I don't think you've seen it yet. And once tomorrow you will catch up on it. Andy Robertson actually has his hand around Saka's neck.
Yeah, no, I saw it. Yeah, they showed the replay.
It was disgusting.
I don't expect anything less.
That was
this is my feeling.
Seconds before they scored their first goal as well.
Yeah. But I look at it, I just think, just in general, I just think we totally are done with decisions, and you go all the way back to, and I hate to show or shove excuses or try and use anything for excuses, but I look at those penalties. I look at the penalties that Liverpool have got this year, and then I look at the stuff that we get week in, week out, and we get nothing.
Well,
we have to be shot.
Yeah.
To be within a chance.
I watched the Nottingham Forest game today, right? And I remember coming up and saying our mentality needs to change when Declan Rice got sent off against Brighton for tapping the ball away. And you look through the whole scenario of that. And I watched the Nottingham Forest game today. And a player, the ball went over the line. He tried to lay the throw in. And he kicks the ball so hard it's went over the stand and it's almost in fucking Northampton. I'm not joking yet. The ball was kicked that hard out the stadium and there was nothing whatsoever.
Well, the other thing I've just thought of actually, when Canate pushed Lewis Skelly in the face.
Yeah.
When they nearly scored their third goal and he pushed Lewis Skelly in nothing was done.
Yeah, but that's why the goal was cancelled out. It wasn't for offside, it was for that.
And Odegaard could have won it with that shot.
Yeah. Just before we go, big up to Daniel. Daniel's about to drop and
Daniel, sorry man.
Daniel was especially brilliantly bro, and some brilliant topics tonight, and your points were brilliant.
Before you go, Daniel, I have got one more from Retro Gamer. Do you want to see it before you go?
Okay.
Okay, mate. So, I do agree a lot of Arteta's first team was poor, but I don't personally feel a lot of the current team, I can say they are not miles better in the defence, yes, but the attacking options are not for me.
Okay. If you have such opinions, so why do you think the manager is bad if you know that some of the players he has, they're not good enough? So why not channel your energy to the rightful source, which is the owners of the club, for them to sign good players for this manager to prove himself if he's a good manager or not? You're just tangling yourself in this web, and it's taking you up and down. You're digging too deep.
Well said, Daniel.
I need to be filled in. I need to be filled in. I need a recap.
I'll give you a quick recap, mate. We've been talking about Arteta and the fan base, right? And
Okay, yeah.
basically we were saying
Very close to my heart.
It's also from the real fans only video you made the other day, which I thought was really good, by the way. Yeah. So I just said to the chat, right, if there's any Arteta outs out there, right, come and put some comments in the chat and let us know why you think Arteta should go. And fair play to Retro Gamer, mate. He's the only one that's done it. Yeah. So I respect him for that. And we've just been bouncing backwards and forwards with him, mate.
So just out of interest, Retro, would you take this is the buzz kind of question. Would you take finishing 18th and being in a Europa League final with the potential to kind of get the trophy? Or would you be second and, you know what I mean, do what we've done this season?
We've already
have we done it? And what was it?
He was trophies, bro. He was the destination rather than he was the destination.
He wants trophies. He wants
trophy. Can you imagine? Just out of interest? Can you imagine being an Arsenal fan? Can you imagine being a retroholic now, being 18th in the Premier League? Let that sink in for a minute, and you're in Europa League, and you've seen week in, week out of pure dross. You've lost more games than Arsenal have lost in the last 3 years. What point in life would you ever think that is potentially a right way of doing things and a better way of where we are?
I mean,
I'm trying to work out, and I'm trying to be as calm as anything.
The easiest way to put it, Paul, is: would you rather be a Tottenham fan or an Arsenal fan right now?
I'm just looking at it.
I get you, bro.
I don't think Arteta's in a job if we're 18th. And how does that better Arsenal Football Club or make us in a better position than what the filth up the road is? And I look at it, I just think it's nonsense. I can't work it out. A trophy for playing against the fucking Norwegian team compared to what we've had to play.
I forgot my Haribos. I forgot my fucking Haribos.
Oh, it's all gone mad. I'll tell you, it's fucking mental.
Yeah, but Paul, you've got to show him some respect because he's trying to fight his corner. Yeah,
no, Retro. I've got all respect because he comes on and he enjoys it. And look, and as I said, I'm not one to batter another fan. That's an opinion.
Shall I put it into context? If Tottenham win the Europa League,
I was going to take it over, Richard.
If Tottenham win the Europa League, they will have had a good moment in a very poor season. And that's it. It's just a good moment in a very poor season.
The context of this, right? See, the Europa League is actually shit this season because no teams dropped out the Champions League. So therefore, they've had a free run at it. If Arsenal were in the Europa League, God help me and please never let that happen to me again, we would comfortably win the Europa League. Dude, maybe we wouldn't, because we wouldn't be able to afford the players to get to the fucking standard that we're at right now. We need the Champions League
Good thing about it.
that we've got.
I think Wrexham could have won the Europa League this season.
Go on, Daniel.
Come on.
What were
The
you
big
gonna
thing
say?
about
Daniel,
it
what were you
was
gonna say?
Tottenham would rather have watched Arsenal not win the league than actually qualify for the Champions League themselves
It's sad. It's
last
sad.
season.
Because I tell you what, if Man City were on top of the league, they'd all be Man City fans now, Tottenham fans. Daniel, what were you going to say, mate?
I was just saying, if Arsenal was in this Europa League final and we find ourselves probably even 6 out of the Champions League position right now, Mikel Arteta will be having more stake than the one Ruben Amorim is getting and the one the fucking Tottenham manager is getting. So I just feel when it comes
I don't think he'll be in with a job. I think he would have been out.
He'd be sacked.
yeah, because
And how would that suit Arsenal more?
I don't get how.
This is my
Go on,
what I
sorry,
say
go
about like fans that come on and say, "Oh, we'd love to have the trophy," but say, "Look, if you were 17th or 18th, fucking hell, being second 3 times in a row. Can you imagine it? Fucking hell, that's raised.
What I don't get. What I don't get.
Brimstone and fire. Fucking meltdown.
Andrew's lost 20 games this season and he's still got a job. How's that? How's that work?
yes,
Yeah, but they've got a better season than us.
Gary Neville was saying today that Mikel Arteta has really achieved so far for not winning the trophy in 5 years and still have a job. The lot from Manchester United, I don't know what Ruben Amorim is doing over there, because they're in the Europa League final. They think he's doing a good job over there. Next season coming, next season's gonna happen. Ange lost over 20 games this season, yet he still has a job. You're not gonna talk about that, but you want to talk about Mikel Arteta. And the fucking geezer was at Valencia when they lost to Barcelona, couldn't even secure his job for 3 months. Yet you want to talk about a manager who has won the FA Cup, a manager who has taken Arsenal from 8th to second, and probably will finish second this season. So for me, Gary Neville right now and fucking Jimmy Carragher, I don't really rate them anymore, because
I don't listen to a word they say, Daniel, mate.
now I just feel they just do it for clicks. So
when they open their mouths, bro, all I hear is white noise. That's all I hear.
This is why so many people are moving away from going and taking on the subscriptions to Sky Sports over in the UK. I think they're fed up of listening to the general just bullshit.
Yeah.
At the start, when they first come in and Gary Neville come in, there was a sense of fresh air, I think, in the punditry market. You saw him coming in and he was giving an insight to tactical kind of like awareness and knowledge and giving that kind of little bit to football fans. Then it started becoming more and more personal, more and more biased. Then you get his little fucking Rottweiler fucking pickpocket fucking dodgy fucking cunt face. Yeah, look.
Bin Dipper.
Yeah, look. Jimmy Carragher, absolute wanker, and he got nothing good to say about Arsenal whatsoever. And they almost play on it. They almost play on it like side by side. One goes for it, and then the other one goes for it, and they literally just keep going. And it's always just trying to have that little bite on Arsenal. Good old Arsenal that makes them bite.
Do you know why? Because our fan base is absolutely horrendous online, and they fucking bite.
Oh yeah, love it.
I said this earlier.
Exactly.
I'll say it again.
Exactly.
Arsenal fan TV.
Yeah. I said this before, and I'll say it again, right? Because you weren't here. But these influencers, right, and this toxic side of the fan base, quotes, right? They're too interested in getting Arteta sacked, and they don't enjoy the football anymore. Do you know what I mean?
I look at it and I'm trying to be quite reserved in how I go about things, and I've done a couple of bits about from Arteta right from the start. I've also looked at what it was like back in 2014, 2015, past that, and you look at it and you think there was some hellish times then. And you're telling me now this is like that. You're smoking the wrong kind of stuff. And I'll tell you what, any of these kind of ones that come on and they go on to the social media, they go on the telly trying to represent Arsenal fans. I think it's absolute nonsense. You make a name for yourself through a good thing. Yeah, whether or not you've got affiliations with ex-players, you've got affiliations with fans. Look, we've had it all through AFTV. They'll be slagging everyone off. The players are pandering to it. They're giving shirts to these guys, the same guys that will call them the C word. I'm not going to chuck it again. I'm annoyed. But they played to all that. So and it's hypocritical on that side. There's so many fans out there that would be more willing and more deserving of a shirt from one of those players than someone that will be going on camera just to make a buck with their crap hothead views that are false, fake, and totally rubbish.
Paul, could I just say for clarification, me and you've not spoke about this at all, have we?
No, what?
I've said the exact same tonight.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Yeah.
Watch
No.
it back. Paul, if you get a chance, watch it back later, mate. Watch it back later.
I've actually called them out.
Paul, will you do me a favour? Yeah. Will you plug your vlogs, please, and where people can see your vlogs, and also where they can read your stuff that you write?
Yeah, just go on to inthenorthbank.com. Go on to inthenorthbank.com, and then look, the blog's on there. All the articles are kind of there and ready to read. So look, anyone wants to comment, get involved in the conversation, let me know. If it's shit, if it's good, whatever. I'm there. I'm big bad. Look, take it. I'll take it on the chin. If it's shit, go on, let me know. If it's good, give me a thumbs up. But look, I want to create conversation.
As I say, mate, on that the real Arsenal fans only, I just thought you were spitting facts, to be honest with you. But
for the first 17 minutes, he was fucking golden.
He didn't say anything for the first 17 minutes.
I took so long sorting out my work and through the day, and it was like then suddenly I got to it, and then literally the sound card started playing up, and that was it. It was all fine. It was all fine earlier, and it was like
what's your job, Paul? What do you do as a job?
I'm a gigolo, mate.
Good one, mate. Good one. Yeah. You're a poor gigolo, though, yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. Look, I'm on my own. Yeah. It is what it is, isn't it? Yeah.
It's a gigolo. Right, we're nearly at 2.5 hours here, guys. I'm going to have to close this down in a minute. All right. But it's been a great show.
Shout out to Ruth Beck. Massive. Big shout out to Ruth Beck.
I've already done it, man. Twice.
Do it again.
Tell me what to do. Who do you think you are? Tell me what to do. You do the shout out.
Mark Taylor, 3'2".
Yeah, Mark Taylor, related to Anthony Taylor, who was on the ref this afternoon. Taylor's a shite.
He sorted us out.
See, and he's got himself all excited over me. He's glasses are fogged up.
No, a big shout out.
Can you move your camera down a little bit so you look a little bit taller?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Look, he's 6 foot tall now.
Paul, do you want to see a picture of Mark when he was a kid?
Well, he is, isn't he? Just
Where is it? I've forgotten where I put it. Hold on, there it is. Look at this, Paul. There's little Mark just there. Look.
Oh, in the middle.
No,
it's fine. No, he's lost weight.
Look, there he is.
Fucking hell.
Look, he's even wearing his Arsenal colours there, boy. Look.
It's like a little crocodile Dundee.
Richard, do you want to show Mark the gift you got him, that industrial pot of Vaseline?
Vaseline.
I greased my pot up earlier with it, but it's still good to go.
There you go. Send it over to him. Yeah, he needs it.
Yeah, he needs it. Yeah. So big shout out to Ruth Beck. Don't forget, go on X and give her a follow at Ruth Beck Art. Give her a follow. She does some great stuff. And if you read the ticker, I've been saying it all evening, but Mark wants me to say it again. To go in the competition, you have to like the video, subscribe, and put in the comments #RoofBeckArt to be in the competition.
Or just go to the website with the link roof-beckart. Yeah, look, as you see, click on the link. It's in the description. We'll stick it in the description later on.
It's already in there, mate.
Yeah, that's cool. But click on that and you'll be able to log in and actually just go and fill in. But get entering, all of you. That is an order, and you should be enforcing that as well, Des.
Oh, I am, mate. I'm bringing it and I'm enforcing it. Don't worry. Paul,
I even want Retro to actually do it.
Retro.
And I think Retro needs to comment and tell me that he's actually entered the competition.
Yeah, do that, Retro. Well, anybody that's watching, get involved.
I've just realised why you invite Mark along to football matches now. And so when you go to the pub, you've got somewhere to rest your point.
Oh, he did, yeah. Well, he doesn't drink them. He just
goes to the pub and has curry sauce thrown at him, doesn't he?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's like that. I know.
Yeah.
He's like an incendiary device. That boy.
We'll have to bring out a podcast of some of these fucking.
We need to do a Patreon, Paul, so we can do outtakes. Right.
Oh, yeah. We need to do some offline content, then, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. We've been doing that. Don't worry. We just haven't been recording it.
Oh no, no.
Retroholic, mate,
fantastic.
Genuinely, Retroholic. Get in touch, and we will have you on a show at some point. You're more than welcome. Yeah. So I've just got to say a big thank you to my guests. Thank you, Paul, for joining us.
You're welcome.
2 hours late. 2 hours late.
That doesn't matter.
Oh, busy lad.
If you could come on more often, that'd be good. But if you
can't, say the best to last, April.
I'm away. I'm not at home, but I haven't got a house full of like 96 kids.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's true.
So, yeah,
Mark,
it means I'm a little bit more freer.
Mark, thank you for joining us. I'm glad you sat on your booster seat. And Richard, thanks for joining us, mate. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Retro, Brian was in the chat. Whoever's been in the chat, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thank you for viewing on whatever platform, X, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Mark's Twitter, Paul's Twitter, whatever you've watched us on, we appreciate it. If on the way out, if you could give us a sub, a like, and a share, be much appreciated. And don't forget to do the Ruth Beck Art competition for a great prize. She's a great lady. She puts a lot of hard work into her stuff. And what we got coming up this week? Oh, we've got player breakdowns, tactical breakdowns coming this week.
Osimhen and Sesko Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, them two. We might have.
Who's going to Tesco?
Who's going to Tesco? God.
Sorry. Tesco.
Tesco. And we might have a couple. We might have a couple. We might have a couple more.
You see what they carry out? Folks need to fucking carry out. That's
no one's like the Tesco, mate. Right? You're in a hotel. You're obviously
get an inbound. Fuck me, man. Yeah. This guy.
Yeah. So we've got shows coming out this week, and then obviously next week is there a watch along? There will be, won't there? A watch along next week, and then there'll be the big Sunday show again next week as well. Thank you for joining us. It's been absolutely brilliant having you here. I'm Des the Enforcer. That's Statman Rich, Wee Man Mark Taylor, and the Governor, the Bray. And all I can say is thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of this. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Get up, Gunners.
See you later, Arsenal.